Are vaccine mandates slavery? Well, Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo says that every single vaccine mandate is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Take a listen to the top health official from the state of Florida. This guy was a real beauty during the pandemic, you might remember. Listen to what he had to say.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body?
Now, of course, there's a difference between the government tells you what you must put in your body and the government tells you if you want to send your kid to public school, what is required medically. You don't have to send them to public school. You can homeschool, as many right-wingers do. You can go to private school if you can afford it. There's obviously an important distinction there. But this is one of the top health officials for one of the biggest states in the country. He's supposed to make decisions based on science. And comparing basic public health rules to one of the most horrific atrocities in human history, enslaving people, that's disgusting. Now, this isn't coming out of nowhere, by the way. We covered when Senator Rand Paul, an ophthalmologist by trade, Senator Rand Paul at some point said, if you have Medicare for all, if you have universal health care, it's sort of like slavery because you are conscripting doctors. And of course, it's silly because even if you have Medicare for all, no one has to be a doctor. It didn't make any sense. But this idea of medical and slavery is something that Republicans have been toying around with for a while. Now, Ladapo was handpicked by Ron DeSanctimonious because Ladapo was willing to echo the MAGA party line on COVID stuff, no matter what the data said. Mask guidance, forget it. Social distancing, forget it. He promoted the idea, long debunked, that mRNA vaccines are dangerous. He altered state reports to make COVID vaccines look riskier than they were. And during the height of the pandemic, you might remember this, we covered it at the time, Ladapo was questioning whether the vaccines do anything at all. And so it's been years. He is still at it. He's not just opposing vaccine mandates for COVID. He is calling for all vaccine mandates to end. So that means your kid at school will no longer be required to be vaccinated against measles, mumps, and polio, diseases that we have nearly wiped out before MAGA decided science is the enemy. Let's stop vaccinating. Let's bring back some of these diseases. And we know where this goes. In 2019, measles, which was declared eradicated previously, measles came roaring back. And it was because of the anti-vaccine misinformation in certain communities. We started seeing the first polio cases in certain communities in decades, traced back to low vaccination rates. Now, the slavery line is no accident. Not only have other Republicans used it, Ladapo himself is black and certainly understands the sort of shocking nature of if the black guy is saying vaccine mandates are slavery, they must be. And it's meant to trigger outrage. It's meant to trigger this kind of visceral response. And it's Trumpian DeSantis style to a T. Take an extreme position, wrap it in culture war language, and dare the media to cover it without repeating the lie. Now, the danger is that when someone in Ladapo's position talks like this, it riles up the base, but it does erode public trust in vaccines. The result in Florida will be lower vaccination rates, I assure you. And so this is much more than a fringe doctor on the internet. He is a fringe doctor on the internet, but this is the voice of health policy in the state of Florida, talking more like a conspiracy blogger and making decisions that affect millions of people. They wanted to do this from day one. We knew when Trump won and selected Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they were going to try to do this at the federal level and that it would trickle down. The decision for a lot of people is going to be, do I stay in one of these wacky states that's doing this stuff, or do I move to greener pastures in blue states, which, by the way, have better education anyway?